Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Your Excellency, the Honorable Chief Minister of the State of Sarawak, Malaysia, Tan Sri Taib Bil Mahmud, Excellencies, all the honorable representatives of the government of Qatar, Excellencies, the ambassadors of ASEAN countries in Qatar, ladies and gentlemen, it is a great honor and a great pleasure for me to represent 10 countries of Southeast Asia, known as the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, 600 million people, 2.2 combined GDP, 2.4 combined trade volume, and growing, sitting in the middle of the growth region of the world, and that is East Asia. You know, ASEAN and the Gulf have a lot of similarities and common features. Most of us are known to all of you in the Gulf as the people from Java, because in those days, the only people that came into contact with people of the Gulf were the Hujjaj, the pilgrims, and the students. And most of them came from a very, very big island of Java. So we were known as Javi people. And the language that the Muslims developed after Islam came to Southeast Asia, Arabic character, but in Malay language. That language is also called Javi. But there are more connectivity between the Gulf and the people in ASEAN than just the Hajj, than just Islam. A lot of people from the Gulf have settled down in Southeast Asia and have become merchants, have become statesmen, have become leaders. One year, there was an ASEAN meeting in Kuala Lumpur. And among the 10, there were 4 foreign ministers Muslim. Prince Muhammad Bulkiah of Brunei Darussalam, Syed Hamid Alba of Malaysia, Dr. Alwi Shihab of Indonesia, and myself, Abdul Halim Bil Ismail. And in a prayer, Friday prayer in Kuala Lumpur, in that mosque, I was sitting next to President Abdul Rahman Wahid Al-Marhum. He couldn't see because he was blind, Tan Sri Taib. And I told him, Mr. President, there are 4 Muslim foreign ministers in ASEAN out of 10. Myself, Alwi Shihab from Malaysia, from Indonesia, Syed Hamid from Malaysia, and Prince Muhammad Bulkiah of Brunei Darussalam. President Abdul Rahman Wahid laughed and laughed and laughed, and he said, Surin, you know, they are all Arabs. My point is, we have been connected through history, and now the Gulf is growing. You are known as the new Andalusia. You are known as a new belt of growth, of arts, of science, of civilization, reflecting the past of southern Spain, Seville, Granada, and Cordova. You are known as a new Andalusia. And you are growing by 5% a year. Your population is almost 50 million. Your combined GDP is forecasted to be 1.5 trillion in the year 2013, next year. We in East Asia, in Southeast Asia, ASEAN, 600 million. Combined GDP is 2.2. Of course, per capita income is much lower, but it is a rising middle class with rising purchasing power. And it is sitting in the middle of the growth center, Japan and China, to our left and to our right, Australia in the south. And the 10 countries of ASEAN have established this dialogue partnership with the European Union, with Japan, China, Korea, with Australia, New Zealand, with India, with the US, with Russia, with Canada. Through these connectivities, we are the gateway not only to East Asia, but to the world. But most of the energy that propels our industry, our growth, comes from the Gulf. And from us to East Asia, the Chinese, the Koreans, and the Japanese admitted openly that 85% of their energy resource comes either from Southeast Asia or through Southeast Asia from the Gulf. So the complementarities between ASEAN and the Gulf, 10 and 6, are very much apparent to all. We need to turn these commonalities, these connectivities, these hub, these connection between the two regions into business opportunity. Much like Tan Sri Taib has said, it is time to come and do business. Already many of you are going to Southeast Asia for medical tourism, for tourism. Millions and millions are being spent in Southeast Asia for healthcare, for tourism. But there are more opportunities, there are more reasons not to stop only at tourism or medical tourism. We welcome investment from the Gulf region. We know that there is a need to establish some mechanisms and some forum to bring us together, and thank you very much, Mr. Siddiqui, Amran Siddiqui, for bringing us together. Insiders, investments. I'm glad you used that phrase. If you use insider trading, it would have been another meaning. But this is one private sector initiative. But the foreign ministers of the 10 countries of Southeast Asia and 6 countries of the Gulf have already been meeting, mapping out strategies to bring our people closer to each other, to increase the opportunities of mutual benefit between us. We have met twice, once in Bahrain in 2009, once in Singapore in 2010. Last year, supposed to take place in Abu Dhabi but there were some situations in the region, something to do with Palestine, something to do with what's happening with the Arab Spring. It has been postponed. But we are looking forward to the third meeting among the 16 foreign ministers, Southeast Asia and the Gulf. So far, we have identified the area of manpower and human resource development because the Gulf hosts large number of our workers and our people, our engineers, our architects here in the Gulf region. So we are working on human resource and labor. We also know that you have something that we don't have in abundance, energy. So we are going to focus on the area of energy. You have capital, you have finance, you have Islamic banking. We want to also work on the area of investment, the area of financial services. Of course, what Tan Sri Taib Mahmood said, food agriculture. 3 years ago, when the price of rice went up, spike, there was a concern that there would be shortage of foodstuff around the world, to the point where the World Bank admitted that there is one area that they have neglected: food and agriculture. At that point, when there was that sign of shortage of food in the world, many of the Gulf governments went to Southeast Asia looking for partnership, looking for investment opportunities to guarantee your own food supply. We welcome that. So these are some of the areas that the two regions have focused on, based on pragmatism, based on our needs, our mutual needs, and our complementarity. The West is saying we are pivoting toward East Asia. The US is saying we are now leaving the Middle East, we are going east. European Union is asking if they could be admitted into the East Asia Summit, which ASEAN is the host. The Gulf has been there all along throughout history. You don't have to pivot. You don't have to lean toward East Asia. You have been there. You have base there. You have connectivity there. You have cultural connection there. You have human connections there. I think the time is right. I think the opportunity is abundant. And I think our complementarity is inviting us to come closer. Turn the human connectivity, turn the short-term tourism, turn the familiarity with the terrain there through medical tourism that you have been using in the past 2 decades in Singapore, in Malaysia, in Thailand. Let us put all these ingredients together and turn them into investment and trading opportunities. In ASEAN, we are ready. And this opportunity is splendid for both sides, for us to explore and to realize that there is much, much more gold mine to invest in and to mine for our mutual benefits, for our people. Together, 650 million people. Together, about $4 trillion GDP combined. Together, we can certainly help each other. And with that, we can also help the world. Thank you very much.